for Kelly in front for Tucker. The pass was just too far. Now Doan hammers Kostolny. Shane Doan, what a shift for the player who at Christmas was ranked 8th by NHL Central Scouting. And as we mentioned, as every hour goes by, his stock just keeps on climbing.
Not only can he hit and take hits, 37 goals. See the hit here? Shane Doan gives a hit, he takes a hit. Brian Berard on Tyson Nash right there. You can see Berard is restricted to his one-on-one play. We haven't seen Berard up ice at all. Don't think his leg's gonna let him be up ice, but he's trying to do his best one-on-one. Doing not a bad job for a guy that is maybe at 50 or 60%.
When you talk about Doan, as Keller sends it in for Motti. Here's Motti now. Backhand shot, Saul the save. Rebound, McCambridge's shot, Saul another save. And Jason Saul hangs on. 12:51 to play. The Kamloops Blazers have fired 25 shots at the Detroit net.
Karcher pressure washers. Blast away dirt and grime fast. From your car, boat, patio furniture, bikes, your deck, barbecue, eaves troughs, and recreational vehicles. Just about anything. Karcher, the fast and easy way to handle any tough cleaning job.
Welcome back to Kamloops. Stay tuned at the conclusion of today's game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Royal LePage, the real estate professionals that make the difference. Aim higher with Royal LePage.
Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier.
Really, the reason the game is called golf is because all the other four-letter words have been taken.
It's the new home video that teaches you the fundamentals.
The only really useful tip in golf is the one you give to the start.
And how to play the problem lie. Call now to order Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier.
Call now to order Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier. Only $19.98. Call 1-800-253-8005.
Well, a capacity crowd here in Kamloops, but one person who's not here is 80-year-old Granny Sanish of Kamloops, who up until today had never missed a Kamloops Blazer game. She's in the hospital with a broken arm. Bob Brown, the GM, Colin Day, the president of the Kamloops Blazers, want you to know, Granny Sanish, that everyone here is thinking about you. 12:51 to play in the second period, and it's 3-0 in favor of the Kamloops Blazers. 25-7 the shots. Here's Lukowicz, same play where he scored on the goal. This time the shot not quite as hard, and Saul hangs on.
Off the face-off, Brian Berard was just off to the side. He was trying to cheat. You can tell he's trying to play a little different game here. Berard moves off and where he normally is at the hash marks. And that can create some problem. It gives Darcy Tucker a chance to come to the boards. Because number 17, Nat Kelly, is wide open.
Right off the draw, Kelly lost it. And now chipping it ahead is Matt Ball. Gets it to Tom Buckley, but right there is Brad Lukowicz, who sent it right back down the ice. Now here comes Nat Kelly. Kelly again. Ginla had the puck in his skates. Polachek breaks away for Detroit. 3-on-2. The pass for Buckley goes off his stick and down the ice. Holland's there being watched by Buckley. Ball behind the net. Poke check by Brad Lukowicz. Now Kelly picks up a tumbling puck and sends it ahead for Darcy Tucker. Tucker with a Ginla. Tucker stops, throws it in front, and Ginla was brought down, and we've got a penalty coming up to the Detroit Junior Redwings. As Nash goes to take the shot, a penalty should send the Kamloops Blazers back to the power play as Ginla was dragged down in front of the Detroit goal. And I think it was Armour, but perhaps not. Now it's Matt Ball who's going off.
Only the third penalty that's actually happened during the play. Jerome Ginla skating hard to the net. Matt Ball had to pull him down as Tucker was going to get him the puck. Matt Ball was really upset about that. He knows how important this game is, and he knows how important the score is at this point. You can see Jerome Ginla go down there.
Ball goes off. Fourth power play opportunity for the Blazers, who are 1 for 3. Now Baumgartner with time goes Kamlops, the Detroit Junior Redwings are leaving the bench. They're leaving the ice. Keller with his 5th playoff goal. It's his 4th on the power play. Paul Maurice has taken his team off the ice. Has he called timeout? They're standing down there in the tunnel. He's called timeout, and he's huddling with his players underneath the stands here. I've never seen that before.
We saw this happen in the Brandon Prince Albert series, where because of the crowd, the coach couldn't talk late in the game. The Brandon coach, Bob Lowe's, couldn't talk to his team. So he took his 5 players in underneath and talked to them, but I've never seen a whole team go in underneath to be talked to.
I was about to say, they're going home, but don't have to. Aaron Keller with the goal, the assist to Nolan Baumgartner and Shane Doan at 8:04 on the power play. 4 power play chances for Kamloops, none for Detroit.
Great shot by Aaron Keller, top corner.
11:50 to go now in the second period. Here's a turnover to Shane Doan. Doan got hammered by Mike Brzezinski, but comes up with the puck. Doan fighting off Allison, still fighting with Allison. And now the puck brought away by Brian Berard, obviously laboring. That's not his normal stride. Gets it in front for McCauley, and McCauley had to roll off his stick. Now McCauley. He's brought down by Baumgartner. Haggerty, side of the net, can't get the backhand shot away. It's chipped out of the zone as it was knocked down by Brian Huska. Now here comes Huska. Huska trying to drop it back for Doan. Couldn't get him the puck. Scott Blair with it now. Flips it out to the neutral zone for Jason Strudwick, who fires it right back in. 11 minutes to play, second period. 4-0 Kamloops leads. Here's Berard with it. Brian Berard sidesteps the first check, but as he did, offside with the call, and Ivan Volokjanov gets shoving with Scott Blair down at the Kamloops blue line. If you've seen Brian Berard at all this year, you know you're not seeing the complete package today.
Paul Maurice was telling us before the game about what a tough kid this guy is. You know, when he goes down, he really goes down. You know he's hurt. And this is a gutsy performance by Brian Berard to come back and play at 60%. There's a lot of people, a lot of eyes on this guy, as obviously he's rated #1 by Central Scouting.
Well, we've mentioned that he'd love to get on the power play, but Detroit hasn't had one yet. Now McCosh across the line, drops it back for Berard. Berard with a hard shot, that floats wide. Volokjanov. Ivan Volokjanov, a native of Kiev, Ukraine, sends it ahead. Here comes Gary Lanigan with a shot. That's blocked in front. Maroney. He leaves it there. Mike Maroney's out for his first shift of the game for Detroit. This is the mucking line for the junior wings. Shane McCosh, his shot went over a screen and just wide. Now Blair centers it. Volokjanov had to go off his equipment. Not out. McCosh tees it up. Saved by Petruk. The puck bounces high in the air. And Volokjanov now bounces it away and sends it ahead for Bob Motti. This kid can fly, and Berard's limping. Berard managed to poke check it off Bob Motti, who's heading off the ice. So give Berard credit there for good positioning as Bob Motti came bearing down on him. Here's Jerome McGinley. His pass too far for Dom Kelly, broken up by Nick Baudouin, and offside is the call at the Detroit blue line. And 18-year-old Brian Berard, the first player in OHL history to be the top rookie and top defenseman of the same year. Look at that stride, Ryan. That's just not him.
Yeah, that's not a stride, that's a limp. Brian Berard's given it everything he's got, but he can only extend that leg by about 3/4. So he's got no stride. He's doing all that he can do, but his forte is skating. That's what's got to be tough on Brian Berard right now.
Yeah, the only push he's getting is coming from the right leg. Wayne Lightbody now fan on the clear on attempt. Here's Westerby with a shot. Saul the save. Rebound in front. Jeff Antonovich throws it down in the corner. Now up along the boards. Brad Lukowicz keeps it in. He gets wiped out. Wayne Harmer back to pick it up. Westerby has him lined up. Just missed him. And now Donnie Kinney steps into his man. Jeff Antonovich looking for the loose puck, but Harmer got there first. Up on the boards, Lukowicz, great job to keep it in. And now finally it's cleared out. We've got a penalty coming up. And it's a slash against Jeff Mitchell. Kamlops going back to the power play when we come back to the Memorial Cup.
Now, an oil made just for your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-roading, extreme temperatures, towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get 4x4 from Quaker State.
Now, an independent test proved 4x4 superior to leading conventional car oils in protecting against deposits that can shorten engine life.
Grace under pressure, outstanding skill, the drive to be nothing less than the best. These are qualities that set the truly great apart as genuine leaders. And for over 75 years, one store has set themselves apart as Canada's menswear leader. That store is Tip Top Tailors. Our winning suits are tailored in our own Canadian factory for ultimate value. And every Tip Top purchase comes with the confidence of an unconditional guarantee of satisfaction. Tip Top Tailors. Satisfaction guaranteed.
LA King third-round pick Jeff Mitchell goes off for slashing, which will send the Kamloops Blazers to their 5th power play.
Mitchell right here. I think this creates a response. And official Kevin Mulch, I think he thinks that it comes up into the face area. He calls it slashing. I think he was going to originally call it high sticking. I thought he thought it was something different.
Detroit defenseman Jamie Allison sarcastically applauded the work of Kevin Mensch, and Paul Maurice reminds him that the power plays are 5-0 in favor of Kamloops. Now Nat Domicelli with it in the corner. Domicelli in behind for Iginla. Iginla back to the point to Baumgartner. 2 players in front, as you often see with Kamloops. So this time Matt Ball comes away with it. He's trying to hit Tom Buckley. Buckley to foot race for it. Trying to work on Keller. Baumgartner came back for the Kamloops Blazers. Nolan Baumgartner. No relation to Ken. Throws it across the blue line. And it's flipped back out with a minute 30 to go in this Kamloops power play. Keller for Iginla. Oh, Darcy Tucker's hammered by Matt Ball. What an open ice hit by Matt Ball. Now, Buckley. And that silenced this big crowd here in Kamloops. And Tucker looks a little wobbly on his feet. He's got the puck now, works his way ahead, and hits for Jerome Iginla. Now here's Keller. Tucker stays out there. Aaron Keller for Tucker. Tips it. Big save by Saul. Puck at the side of the net. Saul looking for it. They jam away at it. Nat Domicelli was stopped. 100 minutes to go on the power play. Jerome Iginla. Down low for Tucker. Now here's Doan. Can't get to it. Aaron Keller keeps it in at the line. Does a great job of doing that. Now behind the net, here's Tucker. Tucker skated by the puck. Back to the point to Jason Holland. Holland with a shot. That goes just wide. Aaron Keller now. What pressure by the Kamloops Blazers. In behind the net. Here's Tyson Nash. Back to the point. Jason Holland with a shot deflected by Keller. Stopped by Saul. Rebound. Tyson Nash put it high. 30th shot on goal for the Kamloops Blazers. The shots are 30-9. Here's Holland now. Holland across the line. Got a penalty coming up to Detroit again. Shane Doan with a shot. That goes high into the crowd. We've got another slashing call coming up. This time to Bill McCauley. And that comes with 5 seconds left in the penalty to Jeff Mitchell. And Paul Maurice's reaction pretty much tells you the Detroit point of view.
Paul Maurice is upset, and this gentleman here, Jason Saul, is weathering another storm. Somehow he gets his blocker on that shot, goes off into the corner.
And we saw Darcy Tucker absolutely get leveled by Matt Ball.
Seen a lot of hits in the neutral ice, and here's probably the best. Woof. Matt Ball comes right through. Darcy Tucker doesn't have time to get his head up, and Matt Ball comes right through him.
Here's a shot by Holland, just rolled wide of the net. Holland again tees it up. This time a harder shot, scores! Jason Holland with a shot through all kinds of traffic. It's another power play goal, and that makes it 5-0.
great deflection. Saul went down. Watch him try to clear his own net. He says, I'm going to clear my own net. I'm going to move Ivan Volodyanov right out of here. But he didn't have to.
Bob Maudie tipped that shot in by Jason Holland. So Maudie gets credit. That is his second goal of the tournament. His first was shorthanded. His second comes on the power play. Shane McCrosh across the line now with his shot. The truck saw that roll well wide. 7 minutes to play here in the period. It's Maudie from Holland and Ashley Buckberger. And here comes Volodyanov with Maudie. Maudie streaking to the front of the net, but Volodyanov was tied up. And now Manlow brings it back the other way. Jason Strudwick, he got hammered by Jeff Mitchell. Now Maudie back the other way. He can fly. Here he comes with a shot. It's all the save. Maudie's got the puck back. There's a helmet and a glove on the ice. Now Volodyanov with a shot. Pad save by Saul. Back to the line it goes. Nolan Baumgartner chips it in. We got another penalty coming up to Detroit. As the puck is cleared in front, Baumgartner's brought down. And we've got another slashing call coming up. And now, lots of pushing and shoving. Nick Baudouin jumps in and starts throwing. And I think Jeff Mitchell is too. 6:23 to go here in the period. Jamie Allison wants to jump off the bench, and he's being restrained by his coach, Paul Maurice. And temper starting to boil over here in Kamloops with the Blazers holding a 5-0 lead. Jamie Allison went to go on the ice, and his coach, Paul Maurice, had to physically restrain him.
Nick Baudouin responded because Big Bob Westerby went after the goaltender, Jason Saul. See Westerby ending up. Here's a corner, and Westerby gets knocked right into Jason Saul. Saul gives him a whack, and that's when Baudouin comes right in. See the slash right here. The call was on Berard. Westerby goes in. Saul gives him a whack, and Baudouin comes after Westerby.
And before that, this was the penalty called on Shane McCosh, I believe. But Berard's going off. McCosh wrestled his man to the ice, and then Berard gave what looked to be an innocent little tap, and he got called for slashing.
You can see the protection there on Bob Westerby. He had a shoulder operation earlier in the season, missed a whole bunch of play. He went hard into Jason Saul, and it evoked a response, not only from the Detroit players on the ice, but as you mentioned, from their bench.
As they clean things up, it gives us the opportunity to talk a bit about Bob Westerby. You can see the shoulder being protected. While he was rehabbing his shoulder, he was driving home one night. The team was on the road, and he pulled a kid out of a burning car, but broke curfew. They were glad he pulled the heroic act, but disappointed he was out so late.
That was the slash that ended up Berard in the penalty box.
Westerby also the day after he was drafted by Buffalo was in a car accident where his car rolled on top of him, and it only severed a tendon in his finger. He was fine. Now you can see Jason Saul has been shaken up for Detroit, and they're checking his left hand. So 6:23 to play here in the second period. Berard is off, and that's the only penalty on the board right now.
Rob Maudie is normally a back checker. He's got good speed. He has a great shift here. He's quietly come into the top 20 scorers here at the Memorial Cup. And here he has a great shift. He's got good speed. You can see in the neutral zone here. He picks the puck up and almost gets through.
As you mentioned, Bob Maudie wears the number of his good friend Scott Niedermeyer, number 28. Grew up near him in Cranbrook. And I'd love to meet their minor hockey coach, who taught Rob and Scott Niedermeyer and Bob Maudie how to skate. Now we've got Darryl Foster about to come into the game for the Detroit Junior Wings, as Saul is going out with an injured left hand. And as we await things here, there's more news on the Winnipeg Jets situation. Let's send you back to our TSN Control Center for an update.
Thanks, Gordon. It's great news for hockey fans in the city of Winnipeg. The Jets have confirmed with us the team will remain in Winnipeg. Negotiations with the government have yet to be finalized and more funding has yet to be raised in the private sector, but all other negotiations have been suspended as of right now. And according to team officials, the future of the Jets is in the province of Manitoba. There will be a news conference on Tuesday morning to announce all the details. Right now, let's go back to Kamlops.
Well, they're just now announcing all the penalties here at the Riverside Coliseum in Kamloops. The only 2-minute minor on the board is to Brian Berard. They all come at 13:37. So the announcement, good news for Jets fans. They're staying, apparently, and they'll have an official news conference on Tuesday. I see that thing settled one way or the other. All right, the penalties. Jason Saul gets 2 for roughing. Berard gets 2 for slashing. Nick Baudouin gets 5 for fighting and a 10-minute misconduct. Bob Westerby gets 2 for roughing and a 5-minute penalty for fighting. So the result of all this is a Kamloops power play. It will be their 7th. 7-0, the power plays.
You talk about coming into the storm cold. 18-year-old Daryl Foster now is in the middle of the storm. And it's real tough to come off the bench midway through a game, be effective. He relies on his quickness. We'll see if that is something that he's got going while sitting on the bench.
Now the puck is cleared up into the Kamloops bench by Dwayne Harmer, and that drew some angry looks from some of the players of the Kamloops bench who thought that might have been deliberate. Well, Foster was 3-1 in the playoffs with a 2.09 goals against average. That was best in the Ontario Hockey League through the regular season. 10-4-1, 5'7", 178. One thing we've seen in recent years, Ryan, in terms of the National Hockey League draft, is it seems like teams are staying away from the smaller goaltenders.
Well, we've seen since Trevor Kidd and others, Patrick Waugh probably began that, we've seen a lot taller goaltenders. Now it's becoming more in fashion to be not only a goaltender but to be an incredible athlete. And as Kevin Munch goes over in behind to look in behind the Kamloops bench, we saw a couple slashes in there. I don't know what's happening back in there.
There was a fight underneath the stands. Now remember that we had players sent off with 10-minute misconducts. And this is, you're looking underneath the benches there. Westerby got 5 for fight, but Baudouin was underneath with a 10-minute misconduct, and there's been an altercation underneath the stands here. Jeff Mitchell with a shot. That rolls wide. Kamloops is on the power play. So Westerby and Baudouin, who both went to their dressing rooms, were in an altercation underneath the stands here at the Riverside Coliseum. Here's Aaron Keller ahead for Tucker. Tucker drops for Iginla. Now back behind the net for Darcy Tucker. Nat Damakelli battling with Phil McCauley. Play is called with 1:18 to go in the Kamloops power play. Now the dressing rooms underneath are next to each other and separated by only a curtain. And so Detroit and Kamloops, just by the way it came out with the 4 teams, are right next to each other. And there you get a look at the curtain. And now security has been called down to handle things between the 2 dressing rooms.
It's hard to put a lock in those curtains.
I can remember that happening in a game where Lee Foglin was slashed and his wrist was broken, and he jumped Dino Cicerelli when Cicerelli was coming off after the second period.
Hiding behind the curtain.
Aaron Keller with a shot. That rolls just wide. 5-0, the Kamloops Blazers lead. Tyson Nash now front of the net for Ryan Huska scores! Ryan Huska! That's his second of the hockey game. And it is the 4th power play goal of the game for the Kamloops Blazers.
Well, a typical Kamloops power play goes back and starts at the point. But they've changed it up here, moving Ryan Huska to the front of the net, using the down low play. Great pass by Tyson Nash. Ryan Huska puts it home. You got to be, it's pretty tough stuff when Daryl Foster, his first shot is in close by Ryan Huska. Great pass by Tyson Nash. And this guy, Paul Maurice, doesn't like this one.
Foster. Foster behind the net now leaves it there. 36-9 on the shots. Here comes Buckley. 2-on-1 with Polachek. Buckley with the shot saved by Petruk, and Buckley lost his stick. Now the puck is moved ahead to Nat Domikelli. It's Huska from Nash and Doan. Here's Tucker. Tucker with a return pass. Domikelli tipped it wide. And now with 5 minutes left in the second, the Blazers are putting on a clinic. And we've got a penalty coming up as the Kamloops Blazers and the Detroit Junior Wings got involved. Darcy Tucker is down up along the boards, and look at his leg up like that. Tucker got nailed earlier by Matt Ball, and we'll see what the penalty is here.
Tom Buckley hit Tucker high. There's no doubt about that, and I think Tucker was hit not only by Buckley, but the boards. You can see Darcy Tucker still down. Buckley hits him high. That's an elbow in any league. Darcy Tucker's been a marked man. Again, he doesn't see him coming. He doesn't see him coming, and that Tom Buckley leads with his elbow.
Well, we criticized Darcy Tucker earlier in the week for perhaps exaggerating, but on that occasion, he was nailed. Buckley gets 5 for elbowing. And now Maurice has his troops over at the bench again. I read his lips there. He said there's nothing we can do about these referees. So Buckley heads off the ice with 4:56 to play. A 5-minute elbowing major, but does not get a game misconduct. And now Baudouin's going in. Now look at Buckley hot. And he's joining his teammate Nick Baudouin. Tucker is just now struggling to his feet with the assistance of trainer Greg Spike Wallace, who's a Kamloops fixture here. And Tucker just now getting his breath back.
That's not the first hit that Darcy Tucker's had. He's taken 3 or 4 in the last couple shifts.
6-0, the Blazers lead with a 5-minute power play coming up.
Building blocks of time passing by, biographies of unforgettable characteristics and stones bouncing off a backbone buried deep in your own backyard. Why? Because I am.
Darcy Tucker takes a spot in the Kamloops dressing room. And now Don Hayes talking to his troops, as is Paul Maurice. And while we have an opportunity, let's tell you the bare facts of this hockey game. And the naked truth is it's been all Kamloops Blazers here through the first period and 3 quarters. 6 straight goals for the Blazers. Remember, this first period started at 1.